Hello, welcome to the next video in my series about a low-level account that I've created specifically to do well in grand arenas. For experienced players, this may be overly simplified, but I'm trying to go into a lot of detail to help newer players or to help players who are trying to improve their grand arena score or perhaps just do better in fleet arenas. We did make a plan, made a video about that. We're following the plan, and unfortunately, we're going to need to make some changes to that plan. Don't worry, it's not too big of an adjustment. The old plan still works. We just have some things that I didn't think through well enough earlier, so I'm going to add some detail to that today. When I was looking at the challenges, we're trying to get Zeta materials. So we were going to use the fleet store to buy Zeta materials and save that currency. I'd advise that. But when I was looking to do these quests, I forgot, it's been a long time since I went through this the first time, so I forgot that in order to get these rewards, you can see here tier 3 and tier 4, you get these Zeta materials that we're looking for. And you see the requirements to do that tier 3 challenge. You have to have 5-star ships and 6 non-capital ships. And then to do tier 4, you have to have 6-star ships and you have to have 6 non-capital ships. So our plan was really about building 4 ships, and we really have to make sure that that becomes 6 ships. So in order to do that, we've already got the TIE Silencer in the plan, the Geo Soldier Starfighter, and the Spy Starfighter. And we're planning to do Sunfac, but we already know, at least from the first time going through, it took me much longer to build up Sunfac, so I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing this time around. Nothing is significantly different. We need to take a look at Cantina nodes, Galactic War Store, Fleet Store for ships. We have to use all that because remember, we don't want to use hard nodes. They take too long to farm and they're going to take away currency that we're going to be using for gear on our characters. So we don't want hard nodes, and that's hard nodes for the fleet arena as well as hard nodes for the regular dark side and light side battles. So we're going to use some resources to do some research. So I looked at these Galactic War Store, Fleet Arena Store. It shows the likelihood of ships showing up, how much they cost, how often they show up. So you can do a little research there and figure out which ships are easy to get. And they need to be ships that we're going to do anyway and characters that we're going to do anyway. So what you come up with, Ahsoka Tano's Starfighter has a high occurrence in the Galactic War Store in both slots 1 and 2, and along with the Geo ships that we're already planning to buy. And in slot 6 in the fleet store. The information does get as specific as where a ship shows up and which slot it shows up in that store. So it's only going to show up in one space, but it's got a good occurrence in both the Galactic store and the fleet store. It is a good ship. We're planning to build it anyway. Ahsoka Tano is in our plan. So it's no stretch of the imagination to go ahead and start building this earlier. Plo, his Jedi Starfighter, is another good ship that, given a long enough timeline, we would build anyway. It does show up in the Galactic War Store on slot 3, and it has a high occurrence in the Fleet Store on slot 9, and it's also on Cantina Node 7F, so we can get this from the Cantina. So if we buy a few here and there and we level it up and it's the ship that's short on stars, theoretically, we can go into the Cantina node and get the last few pieces that we need to make his ship. Sunfac's Geo Starfighter is in the plan, but again, I really remember this ship taking a while. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to take that Clone Sergeant ship that we talked about, and again, I remembered having to put a lot of effort into this ship on my first account. So it's a mediocre ship. It does get really good if you ever get this Negotiator capital ship, but among the other options that we could get relatively quickly, this is the best one. Biggs X-Wing is a tank for the Rebel. It's a good ship. It's one of the starting 3 for a lot of Rebel fleets. But the character himself, Biggs, I want to avoid creating a bunch of characters on this account that I don't end up with a key place in a team or doing something in these Grand Arena fights. And I really don't have a very good place to put Biggs. So it's less about his ship and it's more about the character. And I already do have a clone sergeant floating around, and maybe I'll level him up, or maybe I'll just leave the pilot alone and just work on the ship so I can get the unlocks. But I think that's a better option since we already have the ship going and we already have the pilot going. We'll just continue with that one instead of doing one of these other ships. That gives us 7 ships on the move. So even if Sunfac's Starfighter doesn't develop quickly enough, we should still be able to get to that 6-ship limit on 5 stars and start that Zeta train rolling and eventually get to 6 stars. And since we have to use the Jedi or the Clone Sergeant's ship anyway, I was just going to leave that at level 35. But if we're going to take that thing to 5 and potentially 6 stars, we're probably just going to level it up and try to make it a useful ship so that we can score better in the fleet arenas in the meantime. So the key point here, I was going to save all those materials for the fleet store and just buy Zeta materials out of the store. But the truth is, if I can't get to those challenges in fleet, every week you can get up to 6 Zeta materials from those challenges. And that's 12,000 fleet store currency that I would save by being able to get those Zetas from the fleet challenges instead of buying them out of the fleet store. So we just have to dump all of our fleet currency into leveling up these ships and make sure that we get those challenges unlocked so we can start getting the free Zetas with the challenges. So we're going to continue to unlock all the way till we get to challenge tier 4, and we're going to spend all of our fleet currency. We're just going to go all in. The first priority is Sunfac's ship because you can only get it here, and the Clone Sergeant ship, mainly because Ahsoka and the Geos show up in the Galactic War store. And if we're going to split our currency, we're going to want to buy more of them out of the fleet store and more of the Sunfac and Clone Sergeant out of the fleet store. Second priority, if Plo's ship does show up over here, we're going to grab it. If Ahsoka's ship shows up and we have extra currency, we're going to grab it. If the other Geo ships, the Spy and the Soldier, do appear in the fleet store also, and the Geo Spy character himself, once the double shards are up, we may buy the Geo Spy character out of here. But we always want to have at least 1,600 of these in the bank to make sure that we can buy Sunfac and Clone Sergeant whenever they pop up. So these we're going to buy only if we have credits in the bank. Now, the Fleet Arena store only refreshes every 15 hours. It's on a weird rotation compared to the rest of the other shops. So if you go in there and you feel like, well, I only got to buy out of here once today, there are some days where you will only get to buy out of there once. It refreshes 3 times every 45 hours. There's 48 hours in 2 days, so it's roughly 3 times every 2 days that you'll get in the fleet store. So that makes revisions to the other part of the plan as well. So the Galactic War Store currency, we're going to buy more ships than we originally planned. And we're going to also, when this double shard drop technology is implemented in the game, we're going to have to very quickly go after Ahsoka and get Plo where we can out of the fleet store, for example, after we get those 10 shards per buy. And Plo is a Cantina character, so we do have a lot of things that we need to buy off of the Cantina, but this is really important to get these Zeta materials rolling in. So once we have Spy and Spy's ship unlocked, then we can always go into Cantina and unlock Plo as a character. And he could be at a pretty low level. We just need his ship to 6 stars. And as long as we got a killer first 3, the reinforcement ships are not as critical. In the original plan, I had Barriss Offee in the Jedi team. And we could just drop her and replace her with Plo. That's fine. He's a Jedi. He's Galactic Republic, I believe. So he's going to do mostly the same stuff that we were planning with Barriss. And he'll still help us get to an unlock of Grandmaster Yoda, things like that. So we'll just swap him 1 for 1. We won't work on her. We will work on Plo. And with the new strategy in place, just to keep this real, think about it. I mean, it's going to take probably 6 weeks of play to unlock this at tier 3 for sure and potentially tier 4. If you think about 145 shards for each 5-star ship, it's 145,000 or 14,500 Galactic War Store currency for each ship. And at 1,200, this is the most you can get for completing your whole Galactic War run. It's 12 days for every ship that we want to build. And if we're building at least 3 ships out of that shop. You're looking at 36 days, probably building 4 ships out of that shop. So that puts you at 48, 50 days, month and a half, 6 weeks before you're even getting all these ships to 5 stars. So if we find some stuff to shortcut this, we will be able to farm Clone Sergeant off of a hard node. If we can open up the second level of the fleet, we can farm some Sunfac. So we'll see how it all goes. But it's going to take a while to get that unlocked. Mainly the change is we're going to look for stuff out of the fleet store, and we're going to spend a lot of currency over there. And we're going to buy more stuff in the Galactic store than we originally planned. But that'll get us there. Some people might wonder why we're not going with the Hyperdrive Bundle. So this is... The Hyperdrive Bundle solves all this, right? You unlock everything. Your characters go to 5 stars, level tier 8 gear. Your ships go to 5 stars. Everything's unlocked at tier 3. So you could get those Zeta materials today. Just click on a button and boom, all of it's unlocked and ready to go. Somebody did a calculation on this. They converted all the stuff you get all the time you would spend, all the shards that you get at characters, converted that all to gems or crystals, and then you know that 1,000 crystals is worth $7 based on what you can buy out of the shop. So the Hyperdrive Bundle represents $8,800 worth of work, something like that. So why wouldn't you just buy this and play the game? And if you want to get more involved in the events, have more teams, and just start playing the game, the Hyperdrive Bundle is the way to go, especially if you're willing to spend some money on the game. Just get it and go, and don't look back. But this experiment that we're doing with this low-level account, we're leveling it up bit by bit for a reason, and it's all about controlling our galactic power in order to control the tier of Grand Arena we're in. And Hyperdrive Bundle automatically makes your galactic power inefficient. And I like graphs, so I'll show you why. As soon as you open up the Hyperdrive Bundle, it gives you something like 662,000 galactic power, and that's the total between your characters and ships and everything that you get from the Hyperdrive Bundle. The Hyperdrive Bundle also gives you gear. It also gives you characters and teams that can very easily unlock some of the early legendaries. So what people are going to do is they're going to unlock some of those legendaries. They're going to use that gear to level up some other characters, and you start building a team of really good characters. Maybe you go for one of the Revens. Maybe you grab Commander Luke Skywalker after a few of the early legendaries. And for some of these unlocks, you have to build even more characters out here. So you get this really stretched out graph where as the number of your characters go up, you have, maybe, let's say 5 really good characters that you're building for an arena team. You have all of these characters at Gear 8 that you got from the Hyperdrive Bundle, just tons and tons, 65 characters from the Hyperdrive Bundle. And some of them you improve, but most of them just, at first are going to sit there at the level they were purchased. And then you get all of these other unlocks trying to get stuff. And if you look at this within the first couple weeks, as you bring these characters online, as you level up these characters, your fleet galactic power is also going to go up. So within a couple weeks after buying the Hyperdrive Bundle, leveling up characters, unlocking what you can unlock, getting excited about the game, you're going to be around 1 million galactic power. What we're trying to do, we're really focused on a set of characters that are going to be really big. The team characters are all going to be leveled up close to that to support. Now, we are going to have some yard trash characters, some characters that we opened up at low level just to get the game playing. We are going to open up characters and unlock them. If you're going to play Grand Arena, you have to do the feats, and sometimes it'll say for a feat that Greedo has to be in a team. And if you haven't unlocked Greedo, he can't be in the team. We can unlock him and leave him at level 1, but he's going to contribute some, 4,000 galactic power or whatever it is at a very low level. And that'll get contributed to our total, but we will get a tail of yard trash down here. You can't avoid that. But the main thing we're doing is we're trying to build up a defined group of characters and build them all up very well. So with all of this stuff in place, if I develop these alpha characters and the team characters to support them with the fleet behind them, we're looking at about 750,000 galactic power. So we're already going to be in, 1 or 2 divisions below where somebody who just unlocked the Hyperdrive Bundle is going to be, and we're not going to catch them for several divisions of the Grand Arena. And while we're doing that, now we've gone in and we've taken a couple of these characters and just worked and worked and worked and just haven't expanded our roster by much at all. Maybe added five more characters out here, maybe a little more yard trash, but we've really been focused on just building up these relic characters and these big alphas. And then maybe we've got a big fleet total, because remember, a lot of the characters that we're building over here are fleet characters. So we'll carry a lot of fleet GP along with us, and we'll end up at 1 million GP. But when I play these teams up against a Hyperdrive Bundle that's at 1 million galactic power, my teams are going to be so much more powerful. There's no way that they're going to be able to defeat my defense and still have something that stops my offense. So the whole point is, yeah, one of my defensive teams, they're going to come in with their arena team and just beat me, right? But then they're going to be stuck. They're not going to have anything else. So if you put the graphs together, this is what the Hyperdrive Bundle does. It gives you these characters that you're developing that are good, your arena teams, stuff like that you're working on. It gives you some characters that you've built up to unlock and get that. And you've got all of this stuff down here just adding to your GP that's doing nothing for you. Useless in Grand Arena. Now, it's not useless for doing events in the game. If you want to participate in an event that needs rebels, you got rebels over here. If you want to participate in an event that takes scoundrels, you got scoundrels over here. All the game is just opened up for you, right? So it's not that it's a bad thing to do. It's not bad. It unlocks the game. It lets you play the game. It gives you access to much more, the ability to play more events, get more gear through events. So it's not bad. But compared to somebody who's leveled up from level 1 with a plan in mind for Grand Arena, at every level, our characters are going to be better, and we're not going to have this tail of characters at Gear 8 that we're just stuck at Gear 8. Again, I have experience with this because on my main account, this is exactly what I did. I leveled up way too many characters and made a big long line of mediocre stuff. And now I'm in the process of trying to harden all those characters and bring them up and get them to a higher level so that I can have more teams that win. So that's in mathematical terms or that graph terms, we're going high instead of wide, and that's why I'm avoiding the Hyperdrive Bundle. Even though I'm willing to spend money on the game, I'm going to avoid the Hyperdrive Bundle because I don't want the baggage that comes along with it. Now, just realize that the graph that I drew of the million GP with 5 relic characters in it, at the rate of participation, the rate that I'm putting money in, that's 8 months to a year. I'm not good enough to calculate out exactly how long it's going to take us to get there, but it's a while, right? It's really going to take us a long time to build those characters up. So by buying the Hyperdrive Bundle, we could have easily cut 6 months off of this journey, but it's not what we want. And we want to try out the double shard stuff and see if it makes a difference. And maybe that takes this timeline down to 5 or 6 months. Maybe we really go up faster when we double our drops. So by the time we get to there and we're fighting these Hyperdrive teams, we're going to have really 2 big defensive teams. They're going to be able to beat one with whatever they're using for an arena team. But then any combination of their other 80 characters aren't going to get through a 90k team. If you've got a Relic 5 Kylo Ren on one team and a Relic 5 Geonosian Spy in a group that has all 5 Geos, you're not going to have a good enough offense to get through both of those teams and still put up a defense at 1 million galactic power. So that's the theory. That's the goal. And so the other thing you'd say, well, some people who buy the Hyperdrive Bundle, then right away they're going to go unlock Jedi Knight Revan and they're going to relic him up. And I showed in an earlier video where my arena shard already has a bunch of relic level Revans and Darth Revans. But just realize, by the time you get those unlocks, spend that money to relic those characters, again, their galactic power is going way up. And they've still got all of the Hyperdrive Bundle behind them. So they may develop, another 300,000-400,000 K of galactic power. But that's going to put them at 1.5 million. And now they're just ahead of us in Grand Arena. They're at Division 8, I think. And, you know, we're still going to be Division 11, 10, 9 before we catch up with them at 8. So that's the idea. If somebody's spending money to get ahead, we're going to, in theory, a lot of our galactic power by the time we get to 1.5 million, a lot of our galactic power is going to be because we have Zetas. It's going to be because we've spent a year playing the game, getting great mods. So if we play against somebody with a fresh account that's just pushed themselves up to 1.5 million GP, they're not going to have the Zetas and they're not going to have the mods. So that's how we're playing. Again, it's all a theory. And as you can see, there's already holes in my theory. I've had to adjust my fleet currency strategy. So, well, again, these videos will be fun to watch a year from now and see how it all progresses. My main account, like I said, is also going high instead of wide. I have way too many of these characters in the middle. And by improving the existing teams that I have, it gives me better defensive teams. It gives me more options to do on offense. And I've stopped chasing the new characters and legendaries. By the time the new Jedi Knight Luke came out, I didn't even chase him. You have to develop so many little characters and, you know, get other things in the game, and I'm just going to stop. So, for example, I really want 3PO on my Padme team. 3PO is a great character. I want that character, but I have to build probably 50,000 galactic power worth of useless Ewoks. I'm not going to take the Ewoks up and make a useful team out of the Ewoks. So I will probably never have 3PO because I just got to stop building all this trash that's inflating my GP and just focus on building up the characters that I have now. I have just about everything for Supreme Emperor Palpatine already unlocked and in some stage of gear somewhere in the middle. So I think if we add a Piet onto this, then I'll be able to start building those characters up. And that's nice because just like going for Kylo Ren, I do have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren on my main. It builds a lot of relic level characters, and you can put those in defensive teams that the opponent has to throw something good at, because even a team full of characters that aren't that great at Relic 5, you got to commit. You got to commit to beat that, and it wears through the good teams that the opponent has, and then the better defensive teams are even better on defense. So I just got to keep building up the characters I have instead of unlocking new ones. I'm not going for Queel. I'm not going for IG-11. Just got to stabilize what I've got before I can go for those characters. And if you think about this, that's an idea that anybody at any level can do. So no matter where you are in the game, if you're somewhere in the mid-game, this is something for you to think about if you care about Grand Arena. If you don't care about Grand Arena, if it's just something on the side for you and it's a funny joke, then by all means, do what you're doing and have fun with it. And so we'll take a look real quick at the stores and the shipments, go through some account play. I got 15th in the fleet yesterday, so we are having those Hyperdrive people push us out of the top spots. We knew that was going to happen, not a surprise. So in here you can see, let's look and see if there's any of the characters that we need. No. We might be able to buy pilots out of here later, saving money here. Oh, this is nice. So you can see we've already cashed in on a few of these Geo Spies. We're going to be able to grab 2 more Geo Spies. Once we get this ship unlocked, we'll be able to level it up. We go to the Fleet Arena store. I've already been in here. Like I said, it refreshes every 15 hours, so I was in here a while ago. And we picked up Clone Sergeant, Ahsoka's, and the Soldier Starfighter. I had quite a bit of currency, so I ran it down to 800. And then, we'll keep picking up the Clone Sergeant and these ships as we find them in here. Now, we said that for the Clone Sergeant, since we got to commit to him anyway, we can go in and level him up. That'll help for our Enhance a Ship quest today. So we'll drop all of our money. We still have 370,000 in the bank, so it's not horrible. We'll level him up, make him a little more useful. For Fleet Arena battles, or for just the fleet battles, This is the Clone Sergeant ship that we can farm on a hard node. So we're going to come in here every day, keep farming him. That'll help us get him to 6 stars. And then we said we were going to do 1 energy refresh per day on the ships. So we'll do that. We're always going to want Anakin Starfighter 2. We're eventually going to want that ship. And then this has gear that we need. So we're going to sim 3 of those. And we'll just keep coming back as we get energy built up and just sim out these nodes on fleet. Now, today is the weekend, and I did get some time to spend some energy earlier. And the goal for yesterday in the objectives was to do dark side. So I tried to unlock dark side stuff. Today is PvP attempts, so we'll do our 5 squad arenas. Since it was dark side, I thought, well, let me just see how much dark side I can unlock. And I got all the way to the Lobster. I call this guy the Lobster, the Sith Trooper. Now, he is a critical part of what we're doing. He'll be in our pit raid team. He'll be in our arena team. He'll be on defense for Grand Arena. He's a character that we're going to just take all the way to the moon, right? So since I unlocked this shard faster than I thought I was, and he's on the dark side, what we're going to do, we said we were going to do 2 refreshes on energy over here. So we'll do 2. And we said we were doing Dooku, and we were doing Dooku light side and dark side. So what we're going to do is we're going to farm him on the dark side. And then we'll take our Dooku shards from the light side. And that's going to make sure that we've done all of our light side battles and our dark side battles. We're still only doing character shards off of 2 hard nodes. We don't want to overcommit to building a bunch of characters without working on gear. So that's good. And that'll complete a bunch of objectives for us. Claim all that. We're going back to working on the gear for this Soros keypad. We're only 2 away on that, so in theory, again, there's a bunch of different nodes where we could grab this off of. Here's the Anakin node. We're going to want Anakin eventually anyway, since we're farming this gear. Nothing. That's disappointing. And then we'll go to the highest node that we can get it off for regular, and we'll just do 7 of them and hope to get 2. We got a player level up. That's nice. More energy. And we got the 2 that we needed. So we'll go back to Boba Fett, upgrade him. Nice. And equip these pieces that we already have. Let's look at what we need here. Okay. That's a really low level piece that we need. We don't have that simmable yet. We'll come back to that later. We'll do something that we know we need here on Kylo Ren. We need these Carbantes, so we can go there. We can sim those out and use up all that energy that we just got from leveling up. With Cantina, doing Kylo Ren, getting close to 5 shards on him. And then for mod challenges, we're still stuck where, you know, we're just simming this out to get mods, sell mods, make money, and get our stuff from doing mod challenges until we can get those 5-star mods unlocked. Alright, so I'll wrap the video up there for the day. Thank you all for watching. Give me a like, give me a subscribe if you're watching these videos and you like them at all. Thank you.